Welcome back, old-timey Latin grammar fans, to Rogue, dealing with the subjunctives in restrictive clauses, fearing, indirect command, indirect question, purpose, relative clause of purpose, result, relative clause of characteristic, and always, whenever it's subordinate to an indirect statement or a subjunctive, it can be attracted to the subjunctive. Fearing clauses, obviously verbs of fearing, timeo, meteo, verio, etc., or ut and ne. Now, fearing clauses are simply like complement clauses, except ut is ne and ne is ut. Ut means that, not, and ne means that. So I fear that varies did it. Also, fearing clauses could also occur with a perfect subjunctive, unlike unlike result clauses or purpose clauses. Those are generally not. He feared that he would offend the feelings. So, straightforward, fearing. Next, indirect command clauses. When you have a verb of asking, commanding, warning, persuading, or allowing, you are dealing with a complement clause of an indirect command. Orawit, he asked that he not tell it. He ordered his guys to do the same thing. He persuaded me to go. So, generally speaking, pretty straightforward, no tense. Negative indirect command considered by nay. He warned me not to go. All right, now, of course, these can also be replaced with an infinitive. Indirect command clauses are also possible. Talking about indirect question clauses. Indirect question clauses don't ask questions. In other words, they are simply signified by a head verb. Information processing, I hear, I know, I say, a question word, and a subjunctive, where in the indirect question clause the subjunctive tense works. I ask what you are doing. Tell me what you were or where you were. I wonder why you accuse me. So rather straightforward. Purpose clauses. Ut complement clause. Ut plus subjunctive, usually imperfect or present subjunctive, sequence of tenses, introduced by ut, sometimes uti or quo or ne or even quo minus. So this right here, clearly an indirect command, right? He stations guards so that he might be more easily able to prohibit the enemy. And what stands that you should be happy? Purpose clauses are simply ut plus subjunctive, right? So therefore, sometimes the ut doesn't occur, right? They halt in order to give. So therefore, you can tell it's a purpose clause because it's just translated as for the purpose to, and that's how it shows it's a purpose clause. Relative clause of purpose. A relative clause, either an adjective or an adverb with a subjunctive, could also be a complement clause or relative clause of purpose. Caesar will send men who will repair the bridge. He sent cavalries who would capture the town. That's the purpose of them being sent. So it's basically relative clause of purpose tells you the idea that it's going to happen. Result clause. Result clause is similar signals to a purpose clause, except it's not the purpose of it, it's just the result, right? The sun makes it so that everything flourishes. The mountain was impending so that few were able to cross, or few were able to prohibit them from crossing. Please note that a result clause just says, to tell the difference between purpose or result, just put with the result that, and that tells you that it's a result clause. So I live so that I do not think I was born in vain. That's the result of it. All right. Relative clause of characteristic, which is really a relative clause of result. So it's with you have the same concept of the subjunctive signifying this concept, right? Vile and greedy, though the kind of person who would esteem nothing. So it's not the purpose of esteeming nothing; it's just the result of it. So therefore, relative clause of characteristic is a clause with the result, with the subjunctive, and it just generally means to the concept of would do something. So this is the Roman nation which would not know how to rest under defeat. There's no one who would do this. A lot of it after Estensund, right? There were those who would think, or, etc. And Dignus and Indignus. Well, that's all you have to worry about for Rogue. And of course, remember when it's subordinate to an indirect statement, or sometimes an indirect question, or sometimes just a subjunctive, you will switch to subjunctive, even though it really isn't translated that way. Well, that's all you have to worry about for Rogue, all common things we've covered. So until next time, aloha.